Alright guys, how are you? Let's do some charting videos. So I'm going to start with the basics and how do you start to count waves. And the way it works is you're going to have some structure, and in this case it's going down, and then once you get a thrust move, this is a 1. Okay? It's got to break a structure. Thrust is a 1. The next thing you're going to get is some kind of a correction, and then that's a 2. Alright, and then you're going to get the next wave up 3. Now, this is as complicated as you need to make it until you get used to what you're looking at. And you can use this in any time frame. Usually I suggest you do it in a smaller time frame. Doesn't matter what the chart is. The important thing is that you train your eyes to see this. Okay? Once you have the 1, 2, 3, you pick the 4 points, and then you can create a structure. So in this case, it would look something like this, which is basically a channel. Okay? But it all starts with that first move up, that thrust. That's where you count 1. Alright? You never know when a wave is going to end. I repeat, you never know when a wave is going to end. So you gotta be patient. Once you get that 2, we never trade 2s. Okay? Why? Because we don't know if it's going to be a full retracement or just halfway or a little bit deeper and then go up. You never know those things. Okay? So let's recap. After a structure, there should be a thrust up move, which is a move straight up. We never trade 2s. We never know when a wave is going to end. And we want to see the 3 continue on higher. That's the simple, basic way of understanding waves and structures. Then you take the 4 points, connect the dots, and that's when you have your structure. Whatever it looks like. Could be a wedge, could be a channel, could be a megaphone, could be whatever. Now this is the deficit chart, okay? Just to show you that it works in anything. And as you can see, you have a 1, 2, 3. Right? So it works in anything. Typically I don't like to use preset charts, but just for the point of teaching, I'm going to do that now. And as you can see here, we have a 1, 2, 3 up. Okay? It's pretty clear, very nice and clean. Here it is, 1, 2, we never traded 2, and then 3. And then you connect the dots, and this, typically you have to wait for the hook. Hook takes time, but for you new guys, just get used to the 1, 2, 3. That's all you need for now. And you should spend months on it, just looking at charts, small time frame. Don't trade them unless it's a paper account and you're just having some fun, because it's so volatile and there's so much news that comes in and out on a daily basis. It's kind of crappy. But to learn, it works out really good. Okay? So you have 1, 2, 3, you have a structure, and this is the channel. Okay? And usually the way the channel is pointing, usually going to get a move in the opposite direction. But for you new guys, don't worry about that. Just look for the 1, 2, 3 up. Alright, so let's continue now. It comes up, continues up, continues up. See, you never know when it's going to end, right? Goes up, now you're getting a correction. This is a hook. It's pretty definitive, right? Good. So now we continue. Comes back up. Now it's starting to curl back up. Now remember, you always want to mark the previous high. Always important. Okay? Because usually it'll do what is called a flat 1, 2, 3. What's a flat 1, 2, 3? This is something like this. Okay? It's like an M pattern. So this is the thrust up. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Breaks the top, breaks the low, or comes somewhere near it, and then reverses. Now remember that the initial thrust is what you care about. This is going to tell you what the next move is going to be. Typically, not always. Okay? So if this is a 1, then this whole thing is a 2. The next one is going to be a 3 up. Okay? Make sense? So now we have a correction, a pop. Let's see how it reacts when it comes to the previous high. Breaks it. Boom. See that? Alright, tested the previous high, comes back in. Then we see what it does. Oh, check it out. Previous low, right? Previous highs and lows are important. There you go. Breaks the previous low. Now, you can do one of two things. You can come all the way back, which would mean a 1, 2, 3 sideways, okay? Or it's just a pause, meaning that this is the 1. Now it's doing a 1, 2, 3, right? And then it will continue higher because this is the anchor point. So let's see what it does. Comes back into structure. And this is what I mean when it comes back into structure. That if it comes back inside the previous high and low, if it comes back in, chances are it's going to come back all the way up. Okay? Comes back down, it's pussy farting, confusing everybody, and eventually it's going to do what? Come back down, breaks it. Now, look at this structure. And don't forget that once the previous high or previous low are broken, you have to move these. I should have done that earlier, but to me it makes sense. Okay, so now what do we have? Well, let's draw it out. We have sufficient data here. We have this. And we have something like this. Kind of looks symmetrical, right? So can I count this out? Yeah, I can. So this would be the 1 all the way because this is higher. That's the one I'm going to count, right? So this is 1, and if I could change colors, I would make it a blue. It would be a 1, 2, 3. The hook is not complete yet, okay? So I'm a little premature, but I would expect this to come up, back up. Now the structure is pointing down. It's like a bear flag, right? So what do you expect? You have this telling you up. You got this going down, which means what? The opposite will happen. It should go up. So let's see how this works. Oh, 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 oh. You see? So break, come back, test the previous high, and then continues higher. 1, 2, 3. Now you're seeing this in real time. For me, I know what the chart is, but it doesn't matter what you do. You can do it on your own. You can go pick up any chart and you will see it. So practice with it. Practice with it. It's always very good to train your eyes to see what's going to happen. I'm going to pause here for a second because the initial pause was an M pattern. Okay, so this is a 1, 2, 3. Okay, right there. This is a pause. Then he went a little bit higher, went a little bit lower. Remember, if it breaks the top, usually it breaks the bottom. Okay. Mark these key points wherever it hooks back up. Always mark them because they're important. At some point in the future, they're going to matter. Then it went to the 1, 2, 3 down. You couldn't see this until the hookup. Okay. Took some time. So you always need more data. You can't trade every single little stupid wave. You can't just, this is why Elliott Wave, those guys always get shit wrong because they're trying to like figure out everything. It doesn't work like that. You need more data a lot of times. So when you get the hookup, let's say somewhere up here, then you can say, okay, I can anchor this now. So now I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, pointing down. This is going higher. All right. I could never tell you that back here. I don't have any anchor points. I have no information. I have nothing. All right. I can't see it. I need more data, and the data comes very quickly because it comes down, bounces. I get the hook. Now, in this time period, I can make my decision how to draw the lines and get the structure. And then if you get the bounce. Now remember, as I always say, if it comes back into structure, you got to get out. Okay, so this is a 1, 2, never came back into structure. Okay, it curves back up. What do you think the next move is going to be? It should be higher, 3, right? And it wasn't. It went into this formation. All right, Didn't go higher, came back down, but never came back into structure. So now let's redraw. We have enough information. See it? So what do you see now? This is what you see. You see a thrust, consolidation, thrust, consolidation, and now it's thrusting back up. It broke. You always want to know where the good risk reward points are. And this is a very good risk reward right in here because it's popping out. Now if it comes back into structure, you stop out. So the loss is very small. Okay? You can actually even short it here because it will probably come and break the previous low, which is here. Alright? By the way, let me move these. Okay. So this is the best risk reward to the upside right now. And again, we have the 1, 2, 3 that makes the structure, right? 1, 2, 3. It's a counter move to this. And the structure is pointing down, means it's going higher. Let's see what happens. Oop, came back into structure. See it? So if you bought here, made a little bit of money, then it came back down into structure. Stop. The loss is, I don't know, 80 pips or something. Alright? Then it starts to pop back out again. Now what happens? You can go back long now. You can even actually just buy in here, or somewhere in here, or a little bit higher. That's fine. So let's see what it does now. Oh, back up. There it goes. So now you're looking at it and you're like, oh, okay. So this was a 1, 2, 3 up. Got it. Now let me pause here. The number one problem that everybody has is they become myopic because I'm showing you small structures. What about the big structure now? Okay. There you go. Oops, a little higher. All right. This is the big structure now. Now what do you see? That you could have held this, right? So you can go 1, 2, 3. Breaks the previous low, makes a new high, and then dumps. And it comes right into support. Now what? Well, if it continues to break down, then you want to be out. What does the structure look like? Well, let's connect the other dots. Now you can do this. Okay? The other thing to think about is that you had a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So this could be an ended pattern, pretty violent move down, but still within the structure, right? So it's still bullish until this falls apart. So let's see what happens. Comes down, pussy farts, and then falls apart. So there it is. It comes down, it bounces off of it, comes right back down. You can stop out somewhere in here, and then the whole thing falls apart. So I ask you, is this a complete structure? And the answer is yes. This is a 1. Oops, wrong thing. This is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3. Which way is it pointing? It's pointing up. Is this a surprise? No, because remember, whichever way the structure is going, usually does the opposite. Next thing you want to note is how low will it go? Well, let's go to the previous low. It's 70. So let's see if it does anything. Oh, you see it? Comes down, tests it. Now, there's another point that you have to always consider, which is a previous low, like I always say, which is this one. Right? So this could have been a potential turnaround point. That went straight through, came down, tested the other low, bouncing now. Let's see what it does. Let's continue. Goes even lower. And if I zoom out, there's another point. This is the next point. There it is. Okay. So very important to do these things in real time. After a while, you get used to it. again, the important thing is where is the risk reward? Where is the best trades to take and why? Or what are the potential areas of reversal? Now, if I redraw this, it would look like this. Okay. Now, what's the problem with this one? The problem is that it did not quite make it to the top. It broke the previous high, but it never had any follow through. Okay. This is a sign of weakness. So if I were to give you this in real time today, this not touching the top is a sign of weakness. Okay. Now we have other reasons which are fundamental that we're overriding this wedge pattern. Okay, because this should resolve to the downside. But the risk reward right now is very good for us on the long side, because if it breaks this, fine. You know what? I can stop out. If I'm right, then this thing is going to take off. So this little loss is acceptable. It's just the cost of doing business. Yes, all the technicals are showing down and blah 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 and everything, but we're overriding it based on MMT understanding. Just like I said before, if Walmart is coming out and it's kicking ass all over the place, and Walmart is supposed to be the worst of the retailers, and 70% of GDP is retailers, you got moving average of 200,000 job creation in the past 3 months. Things are good. Things are good. Is it overvalued? I don't know. I don't think so. Not that it's not overvalued. I don't think it is based on what the market thinks. There's still a lot of negativity, and we spoke about this with Edward this morning. So the next 2 weeks are going to be very important, but on a risk-reward basis right now, and I've flipped back and forth a couple of times, I think that it's a good risk-reward to take it to the upside. Okay. Anyway, let's go back to charting. Okay. So the structure had 1, 2, 3, broke down, had previous lows. It tried to hold on here, fell apart, came, tested here. Likelihood is we're going to get a correction because this is now a 1. Okay. This is a 1. So let's see what it does. Okay, it comes down, tests again, and now you have what? You have a W pattern. Okay, see it? So this is now the bear flag. This is the W pattern. Let's see what it does. Okay. So right here you can see fairly clearly bear flag. Okay. Now it broke above. You can take a long right in here. Short if it comes back into structure. And let's see what it does. Okay. You see it? 1, 2, 3 up. 1, 2, 3 up. Goes into a correction. And this can be viewed as a correction. Breaks out. You can take a long here. Continues higher. And then if we do the structure again. Alright. Breaks down. This is what I call a break, test, go. Okay. Break, test, goes back down. This is a 1, 2, 3 down. And then what does it do? Hooks back up. Now you shouldn't keep these lines in here. Too many of them. Alright, so when it came down on a 1, 2, 3 pattern, what did it do? It broke this previous low, came back up above the low. Let me put this up here. Okay. Continued up, test the previous highs, broke out. Good enough. And then you can see again, it's a 1, 2, 3 up. Incredibly bullish, came down. Whatever it broke here, it broke on the bottom. Okay. Like this, popped back up, and then fell apart. So this is an M pattern looking structure. Okay. See it? Alright. Then it comes back up. There it is. So it's a thrust up, high base. Now, I should have drawn this back here. See it? It's wedgy looking. If you were to draw it like this, it didn't quite make it to the top. It's wedgy looking, fell apart. Now, here's something to remember. Just because a structure falls apart doesn't mean it's going to collapse. It can, but don't get too greedy, not taking profits or whatever. Once it breaks, comes to like the previous low here, you want to take some profits, see if it continues down. If it does and it reverses, that's fine. Who cares? Okay. If you took the short here, that's fine. Usually we like to take it to the top of the structure. Okay, as close as possible to the top of the structure. So once again, just remember, just because it breaks a wedge, okay, it doesn't mean it's going to collapse. And that's why I'm saying in NDX, it's wedgy. If it breaks, kind of looks like this. If it breaks, it will continue higher. All right. So comes back up, does whatever it does, off it goes to the moon. All right. 1, 2, 3. So you see everything is a 1, 2, 3 structures, points, connect the dots, repeat, right, as necessary. Take your risk rewards. Don't forget to look at the big picture. And if I were to do that now, let me do that now. Okay. What does it look like? Well, it's a very simple pattern. Just take this out. Take this out. And you can see it. It's 1, 2, 3. It's a flat, right? 1, 2, 3 flat, and it breaks out. This is the hardest part to teach because everybody becomes so myopic looking at every little wave that they forget to see all the little structures, all the little waves. If you zoom out, you're going to get a much clearer, much better picture. Okay? And then it goes out, and then you can see the 1, 2, 3 up. And this is a much bigger move, right? 1, 2, 3. All right. And that's the way it works. So now you have a new channel, and then when it breaks the channel, you want to go short. There it is. There's the break of the channel. Right there. Sometimes you get the 1, 2, 3 break test go, which is break test go. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Let's continue. Comes back up. See it? So it's a 1, 1, 2, 3. Pops out. Tests previous highs. Let's see what it does. Goes up a little bit more. Creates a bigger structure. This is an expansion now. Okay. Because it broke out, came back in, popped back out, came back in. This is a pussy fart kind of thing. Gotta be careful with these things because they whipsaw you. Okay. So now what do you have? You have a structure below the structure. Okay. 1 bigger structure. Likelihood is it's going to go down. And it doesn't. What did it do? It remained in the channel. Now remember, you have to see the break of the structure below the structure in order to go short. Alright. So this is now the new structure, the new channel. And look at that. This is the move that I'm looking for in NDX. Okay. It's in the channel. Rips higher, everybody's happy as shit, and then boom. Game over, bitches. Right? And as you can see, it goes into a new structure. And guess what? Broke out here. Off it goes. Alright. So you kind of see what I'm doing here, right? It's in real time. A lot of times you have to be patient. You have to um, not trade and just wait for more information, something that is more concrete. Pick your risk rewards, and I promise you that over time you will get good at it and make better and better risk reward trades. And that's why it's so important that you guys use your practice accounts. Again, you can do this in a smaller time frame just to get the feel of it, because you'll get a whole bunch of them, and then slowly start moving out to bigger time frames. Okay. The goal is to get you to the point where you'll be looking at daily and weekly charts and making trades, set it and forget it, using various strategies and so on. So, let's do this thing with support and resistance. You guys with the support and resistance and all that stuff, I'm just gonna put a whole bunch of random lines. Okay. Now I'm gonna bring it in. I should do it more. How do I do this? I'll do it like that. All right. Now you see it's just random, whatever. Now I'm gonna bring it in, and still I didn't do it enough. But anyway. Go to smaller time frame. Oh, I can't go a smaller time frame because this is an index. See, I just picked a whole bunch of random currency pairs, Australian dollar against everything else, which nobody really trades all these pairs at the same time. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is that if you just put random lines anywhere, doesn't matter where, that you're going to start, your brain is going to start telling you weird shit. That, oh, see this? This is an important point, you know. See here, it just came here and bounced, and here, oh, to the penny, and then it bounced, and yeah, this is important. Over here, it held the line. So he plays tricks with your eyes. This support and resistance stuff. Please don't do that. Don't create boogeyman in your brain. All right. Follow the waves. Let the structure define itself. Take a good risk reward. You never know when a wave is going to end. Okay. Never trade twos. Get used to seeing the simple stuff, and then over time you're going to see the more complex stuff, and get better and better at it. All right. So please ask the instructors. Ask me. If you don't, post charts, we cannot correct them. So what you put into it is what you're going to get out. All right. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you guys soon. And if you're not on Facebook and the new forum on the Facebook chat, please let me know. I'm going to add you to the chats. We have 4 of them, and I'll add you to the new forum, and you can ask questions there. Because the people that do exit, their comments are, the host wasn't interactive enough. Which is kind of funny because I'm on Facebook Messenger all day long in real time. And I keep saying this, I have it written down, and yet people still don't get it. So please come and join me. All right? Take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, I'm back. I forgot. Now, how often since 2002 has this happened? Once, right? The vast majority of everybody thinks that this is going to happen on every trade they take, and they're going to become billionaires. It's not going to work like that. All right? You got to get that out of your mind. It might occasionally happen, but it's not typically the way it works. Okay? In this particular chart, let me grab this. Anything less than 8%, let's say half, like if you get a 4% gain in this chart, you're making good money. Okay. See how it pretty much fits anything, right? It's 8%. If you get 4, that's great. Right, so just keep that in mind. That's it, guys. All right, take care. Talk to you soon.